This one we're going to be adding these two matrices together. And so if you notice here, they have the same number of rows and columns. This is a 2 by 3 matrix. This one is also a 2 by 3 matrix, which is a key component. They must have the same number of rows and same number of columns in order to combine the terms. So let's start kind of walking through one here. So our answer here is going to be a 2 by 3 matrix. And the key components here, we're going to add the positions or the numbers that are in the same position in each matrix. So I've got a 3 here in the upper left-hand corner. So this one's in the upper left. I've got to combine that with the upper left. So 3 plus negative 3, this is in the upper left. So I'm going to create this new matrix, and I'm going to write my answer in the upper left. 3 plus negative 3 is 0, so I write that in the upper left. Next up, I have a negative 1 that is in the top middle, plus 1 that is in the top middle. So I combine all the ones that are in the same position. So I've got a negative 1 and a positive 1. That's also going to give me a 0. So I'll write my 0 here in the top middle position as well. Then on the upper right hand corner, I've got a 0. Upper right hand corner here, I've got a 6. So I'm going to write my answer right over here in the upper right hand corner. 0 plus 6 would be 6. Bottom left-hand corner, I've got a 2 plus 2 in the bottom left-hand corner. 2 plus 2 is 4. I'm going to write my answer right here in the bottom left-hand corner. Now I have a 1, which is in the bottom center, and a 0 that's in the bottom center. So 1 plus 0 would yield me an answer of 0. Negative 5 and a negative 8 in the bottom right. So negative 5 plus negative 8 would be negative 13. And this is my answer. This is my final answer here in red with the brackets around it. And this is your final matrix. Now let's look at one that's subtraction. And the same rules are going to apply here. It's going to be just a slightly different only because we have a subtraction sign here. Again, though, in the upper left-hand corner is where I'm going to start. Okay, so I've got this one's in the upper left-hand corner and this one's in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm going to go 4. Now I've got to take into account this 0. 4 minus 0. And 4 minus 0, I'm going to write my answer right here in the upper left-hand corner, which would be 4. Negative 3 is my center top. Over here is my 3 is my center top. So I'm going to go negative 3 minus 3. Now this minus here, notice it's going to apply to every one of these components here in this second matrix. So negative 3 minus 3 would give me a negative 6. 4 minus 1, these are both located in the upper right. 4 minus 1 would be 3. I'll write my answer in the upper right. Down on the bottom, in the bottom left, I've got 3 minus negative 1. These are both in the bottom left. So 3 minus negative 1, let's see, minus negative, that would turn it to a positive. That would give me a 4. 3 minus negative 1 is 4. 0 minus 2 would give me a negative 2. And then finally in the bottom right, I've got a negative 2 minus negative 1. Negative 2 minus negative 1 would yield me an answer of negative 1, because minus negative would turn it positive, which would yield my answer of negative 1. So these are my final answers here. The biggest thing you need to be aware of here is wherever it's located on these matrices is where you're going to write your final answer as well. For instance, on this one, this one is the bottom center. I combine that with the bottom center here, 0 minus 2, and I write my answer right here in the bottom center. And you'll do that for each one of the components.